Welcome back.
We're here for the finals of the Destiny League.
Of the second General Games Destiny League.
Destiny League 2.
It's been an exciting run-up to this game.
Good. It's been great. We've had the semis were great. We just got to see games. An incredible match there between Carl and Trent.
That's right, and that leaves the last peers standing, Justin.
Yes, it does.
Playing Carl for the title.
Yeah, so Carl would have not beaten both the peers to take it out if he wins.
It's a heroes-only final, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah. And you're right. If Carl breaks the dreams of Justin, then he's single-handedly stopped that family from claiming the title.
Yeah, he's done a bit.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
They're both good players. Yeah. They're both very good players. So, it's not nothing to have beaten them both one after the other. But that said, hasn't won yet.
It's a tough league. It's filled with really good players, and they've done well to get here. And so we've got Justin's Pomaz.
Yes.
Versus Carl's Baze Snap.
Baze Snap. Now, this is an interesting matchup.
So how do you see this one taking place?
So, as with most of the Baze Snap starts, if you can initially...
Oh, is this it? Are we starting?
We're in. We're in it.
Oh, we're good to go. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. As with, most... If you can get the initial pressure on... just before we get into it, it is important to note that Carl... Being number one seed going into the top 8, he gets to choose the battlefield for every game one. So I do feel that he'll be taking his battlefield by choice.
That's probably true. Justin's the 7th seed coming in here. He's played his way up.
So looking at Carl's list, right? So what you don't have.
First thing you notice is there's 2 of everything.
There's 2 of everything. It's all red.
Besides what he likes, and then he wants as many of them as he can have.
The main thing to notice is you have very little interaction with post dice. Almost none.
That's right. You have defensive position. You can confidence if you feel good about what it's showing. Sensor placement.
So sensor placement. That's another case, but. You have very little that you can do immediately. So if first action Poe rolls in, your sensor placement is a way to remove one of the dice, definitely, very strong. The Rebel Assault, not great if you're not on the play.
That's right.
You have to have first action, because if you can't get dice in the pool first, you have no way to remove Poe's dice for the impending Maz roll.
That's right. So both sensor placement and confidence are conditional.
Conditional, yeah. Everything else...
And defensive position is conditional.
It's all fairly conditional. And that's the problem. Your survival in this matchup is fairly reactive. You need to have an okay start. You're going to take damage. You're going to cop one resolution of Poe, at least. But you need to be able to stabilize after that.
That's right. And Carl's main way of controlling dice is to apply such pressure that your opponent diverts resources from offense to defense.
Yes.
And Justin's deck works similarly as well. Poe just applies such pressure.
Interesting first action here from Justin to just play the cunning, rather than just getting the Poe in play. Without looking at his hand, so there we go. That's why he has nothing. He has nothing he wants to do with.
So even following a mulligan, it's just not a great opening hand. But cunning's not so bad to have.
Maybe you just roll in and do 6.
Because perhaps if Justin thinks he plays cunning on Maz so early on, that Carl will kill Maz, will target Maz.
Yeah. So there's the basic resolve. So Maz's ability, obviously, being after you activate this character, you may resolve 2 dice. That is any dice.
That's right.
If they're in play, they can be resolved.
In sequence, if you like. So you can focus, you can spend a focus to turn another die to a symbol.
And then resolve that symbol.
Yeah, it's a magic.
Yep, so in that case, needed a resource, rolled in a resource, resolves the resource, deals the 3. Interestingly, going after Baze here, feeling that...
Look, I definitely agree with this.
I do.
Snap's annoying, but Baze is the one that kills you.
Again, I think it's what we spoke about last game. If you go after Baze and they stabilize, and then you...
Planetary Uprising.
You're in just a rough spot. The Pomaz deck, just like every fast aggro deck in any game system, it runs out. You run out of steam. You run out of puff.
Yeah.
You're incredible. You're at your strongest turn 1, action 1. That is when your deck is at its pinnacle. If you can get through a few turns, if Carl can survive a few turns and then stabilize, the Poe Maz deck gets a little weaker. You know what I mean? Like
look, I don't know. Like Carl's deck grows in strength.
Oh, it's a Planetary Uprising. That's huge.
Are we playing in the Starship Graveyard?
We are.
So it's not so big.
It's not big, but you don't.
It's not so big because he can just recur it at any time.
You would have liked to have played it this turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like that would have been definitely his next action would have been to play Starship Graveyard, to play Planetary Uprising, given his opponent cannot claim.
It's rarely wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
look, I think that Carl's deck grows in strength as the game goes on because it goes broader and gets more dice.
Oh, definitely.
And Justin's deck is more linear. Like you can end up with a couple of guns on Maz, and then she can be really impressive.
Yep.
And we're just looking at Justin's deck.
Yeah, look, talking about Justin's deck, let's have a look at it. I mean, it's a Maz Poe deck. I mean, you play big stuff. I think,
but look, let's not simplify that way because
it's different. He's definitely made some very different decisions, I think, to some other Maz Poe decks I've seen personally. So he's playing a black one, which I don't think many decks usually play.
And just the one launch bay?
And just the one launch bay. Yeah. He's playing Holdout Blasters. He's playing...
Yeah, that's an interesting inclusion.
He plays a few interesting cards. I think the Cunning, I could be wrong, but
look, I like Cunning.
I don't normally see a Cunning in the Maz Poe, but I like it.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Cunning.
It gives you a different dynamic to the because.
And if you get a Falcon or Ewing in play,
it's not super relevant.
Like even once Poe's dead,
that's
it's still good.
It's not super relevant in this matchup, but imagine using that against like an Emo Kids or against something with your Poe special becomes use your opponent's special.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like a Force Throw becomes incredible.
But also some turns you're just going to have three things.
Possibilities are huge.
Did Carl just pitch, hit and run?
I think he did.
Showing what a different matchup this is.
Yeah, definitely playing it very differently, trying to get as much pressure onto Poe. Actually, do you go after Poe? I think you just smash Maz, right? You just want to get her out of the game as soon as possible.
Yeah, look, this is what I love about Destiny. You can gather a bunch of competent players in a room, and they'll have completely different ideas about.
Everyone disagrees.
That's right, because
we do regularly.
Yeah, I think you want to kill Poe, just like I think Justin wants to kill Baze. I think you kill the person that wins the game.
I agree with Carl here. I want to go Maz.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go for Maz. And I understand what he's done here. He has realised he needs to get as much advantage early and as much pressure. He needs to keep up with the Poe Maz deck.
See, this is something I really like about what Justin did first turn. Like he plays the Cunning on Maz, and that makes her a target.
Yes,
and this in essence gives Poe like an 8 health shield.
It does, but the deck gets significantly weaker once Maz dies.
Look,
Poe's still strong. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's an interesting question. Like, what weakens it more, Maz dying or Poe dying?
I think it's very subjective. Personally, I think in most situations, I personally will go after Maz.
Yeah, okay.
That's just personal preference, and that's just
that's what makes this game great.
Exactly, and that's the thing.
It's not obvious.
All
your decisions matters.
Everyone has an opinion, and in some situations, based on the results of certain die rolls and the sequencing of plays and cards, it might be correct to not go after Maz or to go after Maz. It's impossible to know.
Justin with a classic play here,
and
hit and running Poe,
left with some options,
and now can roll in Maz and resolve whatever the heck he likes.
It's hitting both vanillas, which means
this could well be 7 or 8 damage.
So pay 1, deal 3, and then resolve Poe's special. He has a launch bay in hand.
And a Wookiee caster.
And a bowcaster, which is 4 damage. He can't resolve the 4. It does cost a resource.
Yeah, but he's got 2 resources.
No, he has to pay... Oh, no, he has exactly... Yep.
He can just do 7 damage.
Oh, don't worry about me.
But he's going... Oh, no. Launch bay doesn't kill...
He's discarding.
Launch bay doesn't kill
Is he discarding
Baze, though. Bay? Oh, he's discarding 3.
He's not going for the damage. He's just trying to shut the deck down. That's some heads-up play. That
is a strong move. I would have been so tempted just to do the 7, and then if Maz does one, it's game over. But this could possibly cripple his turn.
I respect that line. That is realizing he doesn't have to kill the snap. The snap Baze isn't a fast deck.
And what did he hit? He hit
dug in, defensive position, and something else.
Yeah, like they're big cards to hit,
and a confidence. So. Defense. Sorry, it was a wingman.
You're right.
So defensive position, wingman, confidence.
Happy to hit all of them.
All amazing cards. So Carl just going low tech.
Yeah, just like I'll just roll guns.
I'll roll damage.
Yeah.
Because that's a dead Maz on board currently.
No, he's got a resource left and defensive position. Who claimed last turn?
Carl did.
Yep, Justin just telling his brain that by moving the battlefield.
So that is on board. That is a dead Maz.
That is what regret looks like.
The shield not enough, I don't believe. Carl showing lethal. Yep, that'll do it. Or am I wrong? No. Exactly. And the shield. Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Incredible play.
That's unfortunate. So again, then we're seeing that how bad it was. So imagine if he was able to have the.
So if you're Justin now, do you take that resource and do you want to play C3PO?
I always want to play C3PO. That card's incredible
because that turns Poe's dice into discard 3. And...
Yeah, I always C3PO. It is so strong. It allows you to make your dice. Anything, literally anything. And when you've got 3s on your dice, like 3 shield, 3 disrupt, 3 discard, they're all relevant.
It's whatever you need.
It's huge. Justin in both a good and a bad spot here. I mean, Carl's definitely copped the short. Copped it. Like those discards were massive. Like he's missed out on some on some pretty big pivotal things for his deck.
I mean, it's not really the short end of the stick. Like Justin gave up. It was a big
100%.
Decision.
No, but my continuation would be that Justin has played so well. He's played heads up. He understands the threat that this deck has against him, and has tried to mitigate that as best he can. I mean,
okay, so I may have wronged Justin here with the discard play a little because he must have known that Carl claimed he returned the Planetary Uprising. And
yes.
Perhaps he was hoping to hit that.
Maybe.
And bin it.
I mean, honestly, and again, I think the issue with this deck is you want your cards. This deck wants the cards. Everything you draw is a card that you want to play.
Yeah.
You're not. There's a reason he's playing all 2-ofs.
It's not like the Awakenings only meta, right?
No.
Where you'd see some cards, you're like
20 cards, and then the rest are sort of
filler.
Dealer's choice.
Yeah.
No, these are. You want every card, and Justin playing incredibly well. I mean, very few people I think would ever make that play. Would ever. You're looking
damage
at
is so seductive,
you're looking
right?
At the damage. You're looking at the damage you can do, and you just choose to discard 3 cards from their hand. I applaud
That's right.
that. And
it's a big play, and it shows why these guys have made it this far. They're taking non-obvious lines.
So now what we're looking at is you've got C3PO in play. Now we should talk about what C3PO is. So C3PO is a 1-cost support whose die is pretty irrelevant. It could be 6 blanks, I think.
Yeah, you would happily play him at 6 blanks.
So he has the ability, which is remove his die to change the symbol of another die in play to any symbol and resolve it.
Yep.
So it keeps its value. So if you have a
Card
1...
claiming and doing...
If you have a... Yep, so planetary uprising triggering there.
Yeah.
So as we're about to see here, so remove the C3PO die, turns the Cunning to a special, and then Cunning's...
The Bowcaster. Because he uses Cunning to hit Poe's ability to pitch the Bowcaster, and this is what he knew all along, that he could hit it anyway.
He could hit it anyway. Of course, we missed that. Oh, wow, that's great play. That's some great play.
That is great play.
So, so again, Cunning in this deck, so now we have to talk about Cunning as well, obviously. So Cunning's special, is the ability to resolve
any other special on the field.
Special doesn't matter if the die is in play. It does not matter. You resolve the special ability of any card in play as if it was your card.
That's right, which is particularly hilarious with Thermal Detonator.
Yeah, exactly.
On the other side.
Exactly. You detonated basically, they misfired. They pulled the pin and didn't throw.
That's right. And same with Anakin.
Anakin's ability.
He does 4 damage to himself.
ATST implodes.
Yeah, that's right.
It leads to some interesting board states. We've had some interesting states in previous videos with a Kylo Saber.
Yeah.
And such. It does some interesting things. But in this deck...
Pay's resolving his special to kill Maz.
Yep. Seems fine. In this deck... it's another side or another way of hitting Poe's special.
That's right. And that's why it plays it usually, but it's also good defensively.
Strong with a C3PO.
Yeah.
As previously discussed, it changes the symbol and the value stays the same. it doesn't matter what the value is. As long as it's not a blue number, you can turn any die. As long as it's not a blank or a blue, you can turn it, or a modifier rather.
You can turn a blank to a special, can't you?
No.
Because a special's value is 0, and they specified that a blank's value is 0 in the rule update a couple of months ago. That's right.
Okay. So I apologise. I've just been corrected. You are 100% correct. You can actually turn a blank.
Because a blank's value is 0, and you change its symbol to special.
The only thing you can turn it to is a special, because it has a value of 0. You're correct. Sorry, apologies. So yeah, making it really good. Something that was clarified in the previous rules update, actually.
Yeah, not the most recent one, but the one before.
Yeah, exactly. So I did actually miss that. I've only actually recently started playing a list with a C3PO in it. So
he's very good.
Yes. Snake Eyes.
Defensive position,
in a good way.
Good to you at this point. Not that he's holding it.
That's the other thing that's really relevant in this matchup. Carl's a lot of two defensive.
I think Carl's looking at what can he do? He's got Rebel Assault to remove a die because they're not showing damage. So
he can't. He does not have a gun on his. The requirement, the caveat of Rebel Assault is that you need to be showing a gun.
Yes. Frustration abounds.
Yes, it does. Look, is that a sensor placement's an option? But what do you throw at? He can't throw anything at them. Yeah, so it removes the die and then does nothing.
But, I mean, that's 2 resources. Like, I would take that trade, I think.
Maybe.
Because you just don't know what Justin's holding.
Looking at Justin's hand, I think, with perfect information, I take that every day. But...
Because we can see that Justin can just do 7, I'm pretty sure. 4 from the Falcon and 3 from the Heavy Blaster. But this information is hidden from Carl.
Yeah. Look, I think he might make that play. I'm not sure.
And 7 will kill Baze and do a lot of damage to Snap.
There are times when you're versing the Poe Maz deck.
And they're just empty.
He's just going to dug in and hope that he doesn't have enough damage. There are times when exactly, they're empty. They've got a special and they can't do a thing with it. And it's so imposing on your play.
Yeah.
And you're so stressed about what they could potentially do with that special. And they're sitting there looking at nothing.
It's so difficult to play against.
In this case, it's the opposite. It's the right amount. So that is a dead base.
And now, if you're Justin, do you discard the Heavy Blaster to deal 3 to Snap at this point?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you just go for the damage, right?
It's not wrong. But maybe you want resources so you can claim.
Interesting thing here is Justin. So if he does that, looks like he's not resolving all the specials.
Looks like Carl's claimed and he's returned to second
He's just going to reroll. Doesn't want to do it. Wants to get.
Well, I guess he can always turn Poe into a special with C3PO.
And at any time, I'm curious what he wants to get.
Well, he's already got 2 resources, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he just wanted another one so he could play it and then use it every turn.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting. Yeah, interesting spot here. The planetary uprising is not nothing in this situation because you're now left with one character versus one character,
and there's a lot of pressure.
And Carl's character is Snap.
Yeah.
So if Snap can keep,
so he takes the dollar. He can't reroll C3PO into anything relevant.
Yeah.
So he just takes the dollar from Poe.
Yep. So Carl obviously claimed there quite early in that sequence of turns to deal the 2 damage to Han. To Poe. And it looks like he claimed and used his line of victory here is to aggressively claim with 2 planetary uprisings in hand. In play, rather. So he used the Starship Graveyard's ability, the claim ability of the battlefield, which is put an upgrade or support from your graveyard on top of your deck.
That's right. And
he used that targeting the...
And Carl's job now is to make sure Justin can't deal 9 damage this turn.
Yeah. And then hopefully get a claim off. And then immediately claim.
Yep.
And that is a way to win the game. I believe Justin does play Field Medics. Maybe we can get another look at his list just to see what he's got here.
Well, in hand, he's got Electroshock, Hit and Run, Planetary Uprising, Holdout Blaster, and Heavy Blaster. Yeah. So dealing 9's a bit of an ask. It's not impossible.
Hit and Run's not nothing here, though.
But he needs max damage out of Poe in order to deal 9.
Yes.
And any sort of interruption is going to be a problem.
Yeah, but the thing is, he can potentially take... The thing is, he can claim aggressively himself because...
Okay, so he's he's played the holdout blaster and he's improved his odds.
Yeah, now I feel he just hit and runs, right? The correct play is probably just hit and run here. What is interesting is he's not worried about on-board damage or character damage. Like, he's not worried about Snap doing damage with his dice. He's worried about the claim ability. And the thing is, that's where the difference between having a Snap left versus having a Baze left is if Baze is left, you got to worry about both.
Yeah.
Because if they claim off you, you take 4. If they don't claim off you, you could take way more.
I like Justin's line here of rolling out C3PO first.
Yep.
Keeping that option open of changing.
Yep. He can't claim now. No money in play. And Carl has that advantage. Carl is very much on the stay alive this turn, claim, immediately claim. That is his line to victory. Justin...
So what removal is Carl holding? He's got sensor placement.
Has a guerrilla warfare as well, which is very relevant. That changes... Well, no, it doesn't actually change the clock.
No.
The clock remains the same. It is 4 damage this turn and 4 damage next turn, which is exactly 12.
Yeah. Unless he gains a shield.
Yes. It is a way around a potential shield.
I would probably save my hit and run this turn on the off chance that I get a shield from holdout blaster.
Maybe.
Or maybe C3PO has a shield.
On board, how much damage can Poe deal with the cards that are currently in play?
He can deal 11.
Is that accounting for the money that he needs to do that?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
How does he get the 2 money to do the 6 on his die?
Because the blaster's got a base 3 with no resource, and the holdout blaster's got +2.
Oh, yes. And then you see 3PO at the +2.
You don't have to. Like, you can resolve the 3 and the +2 together, and he can special one of Poe's dice into a...
Special's the heavy blaster. That's going to deal 3.
Yeah.
So Poe's ability, again, I don't think we've actually outlined exactly what it is. So Poe's ability is resolve one of his special die.
Oh, he does have field medic.
Does have the field medic. That's very relevant here. Resolve one of the special die. Discard an equipment or vehicle, from an upgrade or vehicle, from your hand, and resolve one of its faces.
That's right. And if that was a vehicle, you may then play it.
So there is a cheeky line where if you have 3, is it 3 resources you need to start with, or 2?
Well, if it's for a Falcon or a U-Wing, it's 3. Because if you've got 3, you can pitch the Falcon or U-Wing to
gain the
resolving its gain 2 resource sides and then play it.
So I feel that's a little bit more, I think, the design space that they were originally going for with Poe.
I think so.
I don't think they were intending people to be throwing Falcons at each other.
It does feel like, look, it's hard to say. This is a new game. They want there to be excitement.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's a main character.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a tentpole character for the franchise now.
Yeah, a suggested change I think that's quite universal amongst a lot of players is they feel that maybe his ability should have been limited to vehicle only and not hit upgrades and weapons.
Absolutely. Although Justin rerolled the +2 on the holdout blaster. If he's after the shield, that's great.
Yes.
But otherwise, it hurts his damage.
Yeah,
but maybe the shield is
So Carl immediately recognizing the shield does change the clock by an entire turn. So he's going to immediately resolve guerrilla warfare. Justin's going to have a read of what it is.
Yeah, and then suffer. And
then realize, oh, well, that shield's now useless to me. So guerrilla warfare, I think we mentioned it before, is remove one of your red dice to deal target character 1 damage with ambush.
Yeah, this is over.
And that's now over.
Yeah, he can't win.
He cannot prevent the damage. There is no... Actually, no, it's not over. He could have...
But you can't delay this turn.
No, he doesn't have to kill him this turn. He could have re-rolled maybe he could have re-rolled and then used the C3PO ability to gain shields.
Yes.
There were lines there. Unfortunately, Justin missing them, I think. Or just has had enough of that game and wants to go on to the next one.
Yeah. Good. Well, they've only got now 37 minutes left.
Yeah, so
that's significant time pressure.
As per the tournament rules, we play 2-hour finals.
That's right. And,
best of threes.
And it's not so much that players need 2 hours, but it's to mean that the time pressures are supposed to be less of a factor in finals. Yeah.
So we're going to take another quick look back through Carl's deck. So demonstrating their good understanding of the way his deck plays. Look, I very much like this deck. I'll admit I played it and I didn't think it was as strong as what Carl is demonstrating that it is. And I think that can only come down to player skill. I think that I feel I'm a above average player of this game. Call me cocky. I definitely would not play this
I think
game.
there's nothing wrong with saying I believe I'm good at something.
Yeah.
In spite of what the world suggests, there's nothing wrong with it.
And I feel that Carl plays this deck better than I probably did, hence why I feel the deck isn't as good, and he feels it's still one of the best decks.
Look, he's got a good feel for it, and it's a very dangerous deck, especially with Carbon Freezing Chamber.
On the other side, Justin has taken his own take. He has his own take on the Mazpo deck, and demonstrating it's pretty good, and he plays it real well, showing some real good, deep understandings of what he can do with cunning.
He's got some one-offs to keep people off balance, which I like.
Yep. Yeah, I think maybe a little unfortunate there that he maybe missed that line. Well, I mean, look, it's not a win. It's not a win. It's a turn. It's a turn. I get told this regularly from my play group. I'm regarded as maybe a little pessimistic in the games I play. And the only way that you guaranteed lose a match or a game is when you concede. Yeah. Because you can't win if you've just conceded. But if you play another turn,
it is very difficult.
You might be able to. But either way, so we're going to jump on to game number 2 of the match.
All right. So both of these decks stressful to play against.
Yes.
Because you never know what Poe's holding.
No.
And also the ever-present threat of it's a trap, particularly with overkill on Carl's side. It's just stressful how much damage either deck can pour out.
Yeah.
Like, the damage is more linear from Poe.
So, interesting to note there that Justin discarded his entire opening 5, obviously not seeing anything that he wanted.
Again, because he did the same last.
He has drawn into relevant cards here. So, he's got a Cunning, he's got a C-3PO.
He's got a Rocket Launcher and a Heavy Blaster.
Yeah. That's some ammunition for a couple of turns at least. I feel that he's going to immediately goes for the Cunning, essentially giving him a third crack at Poe special.
At the special.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
How my co-commentator is having
a minor seizure. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I think I might have favoured playing the C-3PO. I think I value that card maybe a little bit more highly in this matchup, at least from turn 1. It represents a lot more, I think.
Look, he's not throwing away C-3PO anytime soon. He picked his own battlefield.
Yep.
Justin's worth noting. So Carl gets the shields.
Carl does get the shields. And he splits them. Interesting that he split them. I think he's still unsure as to whether or not... I think our producer pointing out that he actually has split them every time in all of his matches. So I think he feels that maybe that's indicative of the fact that he feels that you can go for either character. It doesn't actually matter.
Yeah,
or he doesn't want to lead someone down. He doesn't want to lead someone to believe one character is more powerful.
Look, he maybe doesn't know who they're going to go for, and it slows them down no matter who they go for. I mean, and then he can dug in.
If you're a little and also at least the dug in's still an option. And I think that if you're a little unsure in a matchup versus what character is the most strong, and they get shields and they put 2 shields on a character, you're probably going to look at that and go, well, maybe that's the pivotal guy, you know,
or maybe. And you don't know how someone's going to respond because maybe they look at the people that are unshielded and go, well, they're more killable.
Yeah.
Like that used to happen with Dooku.
Yeah,
like definitely. Sometimes people would just stare at him and go, well, I don't want to deal with that yet. I'll kill someone else.
Exactly. I'll take what I can get for now.
Yeah.
So Justin, considering his lines here, so I believe he's rolled in Maz and is now looking at what is actually quite a few lines for resolving the dice. Chooses to resolve the 1 resource
and deal 3.
Now, what is interesting with the...
Well, he's got Cunning left if he wants to pitch something.
Yeah, and look, maybe... Again, maybe you resolve the resource... Like, do you leave the resource in play with the intention of putting the... I just like C-3PO. I would want to see C-3PO in play as soon as possible.
Well, Snap's got Crush 2 up, or Disrupt 2. So... You can't sit on a resource.
Yeah, true. Oh, I did miss that. I apologize. I did actually miss that. The fact that he couldn't have claimed the resource and sat on it.
So maybe he resolved the dice in that way.
Still has the focus on Maz.
So he can focus into Cunning special.
Yep. He's going to resolve a shield on Maz.
Look, it's not a bad. It's all value.
Yeah. Look, he
and he knows where Carl attacked last time.
Yep. Justin demonstrating that he understands.
Well, last game Justin opened up with Cunning. And Carl went for Maz.
And let's be honest, Carl did just do 5 damage.
Yep.
So maybe gaining a shield is
and it's going to be 6.
Yep. 5 is 4. 4 is a little bit more reasonable than 5, and what is now going to be a total of 7 damage for the turn.
Not bad for a lazy turn 1.
It's not bad. Not bad for just a baby blaster in play.
And spending 1 resource.
Yeah, I think it could be worse. And you also have you're pretty much at liberty now to do what you want for the remainder of the turn, given the fact that your opponent can't claim as is.
No, but Justin can focus to the cunning special, deal 3 with the heavy blaster should he wish.
He can. I don't believe Carl has any way to deal with that if he was to do that. He can't. So he can do stuff. Justin has lines here, and I think that's also why a lot of players like this deck as well. They feel that they can. Look, it's got a pretty bad stigma. I will admit
it was an excellent deck. It is an excellent deck, but with fast hands, it was just so difficult to play against because you had so few opportunities to interact
with anything that
it felt like you had no influence on the game,
and like that kind of reflected that kind of skewed. If you're playing against this deck, because of that situation that was
Justin focusing into the special,
because of that situation that arose, you felt as if your opponent didn't have to be as good of a player or didn't make. Even though they may have been a great player, incredibly great, incredibly amazing plays and sequencing perfectly, you miss that fact because it feels like they're not really working for what they're doing.
On the other side, all you can see is the fact that they're throwing falcons at you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's no rolling.
You can't do a thing about it.
There's no variance. It doesn't feel like they have to roll.
So in its
just to recap, Carl resolved Baze's special, dealing 1 to both Maz and Poe.
Yep.
And then Justin used the special on Cunning to throw the heavy blaster. At Baze. At Snap.
At Snap. Yep. So I mean, and
Justin switching up his approach here, trying to kill Snap first.
Yep.
And not being stuck with the double planetary uprising. Can't claim.
Yeah. I mean, and as I was saying before, I think that now this deck has so many lines.
Yeah.
You roll in Maz, you're showing. With a cunning, you're showing focuses, you're showing the ability to flip specials. You suddenly throw a C-3PO into the mix, you can flip to focus, you can flip to special, you can flip to...
With the right hand, Justin can deal 12 damage.
Interesting.
Because like he rolls Maz in, focuses into cunning.
Yeah.
And then resolves cunning, and then rolls Poe in.
But maybe you don't necessarily just need to go for damage. Like, it's not necessary going ham, you know what I mean? Like, you don't always have to go for maximum damage. Sometimes you go for board control or hand control. You know, sometimes it's worth just making your opponent discard 4. Discard 3, rather.
Look, absolutely true. Carl playing Wingman on Snap, which adds to pressure, and then Justin going for the classic opening of hit and run Poe into activating Maz and then resolving Poe's dice. God.
Yeah. So the reason he's able to is because that was done with a hit and run and not just a vanilla roll in. It means that he actually is able to resolve Maz's and resolve both specials because he actually nets an act. Well, not nets an action, but he has another action.
This demonstrates why this is a frustrating deck to play against at times because Carl had 1 action and now he's lost a character.
Yeah. And it would look pretty good because he had, I believe he had hit and run and It's a Trap in hand.
And now he's going to take 4 from the rocket launcher?
That's a pretty big swing. So he did have It's a Trap in hand and hit and run.
Yeah.
Or at least even just a hit and run with the Wingman is not nothing.
And what's more is Justin can claim here.
Yep.
Returning something valuable and turning on his defensive position for next turn.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty great line,
I think the correct line here for Justin is just a straight up claim because it's not what it does. It's not even so much what it does for you. It's what it turns off for Carl.
It turns cards off for him and turns cards on for you.
Yeah. I think knowing that your opponent's playing 2 Dug-ins and two defensive positions, you in this situation you claim and it's exactly what he does. Yeah, I mean, that's it.
And then Carl suddenly realizing his defensive position's not going to be any good, ruthlessly pitches it, which is correct,
and hits the 3. And that's a risk you're going to take. That's just the risk you're going to take is just in Justin's spot. But I mean, I don't know if there was any other line that was worth considering really in that spot because you're still in a really good spot. You have a vanilla Baze versus a vanilla Poe.
Yeah.
Poe's damage ceiling is a lot higher.
And they're both naked, which is really interesting for this stage of the game.
Interesting to note, though, that Justin does have C-3PO, which is...
And Carl field medicked at the end of his turn.
So Carl not in a bad...
So Baze with 10 health left and Poe with 10 health left. So it's all even at the turn.
There's the hit and run. What does he hit?
Oh, he just hits damage.
Just hits 5?
Yeah, just hits 5. But look, he's looking at his hand like it's going to get it significantly better. I'm not sure what you want.
I think you take the 5. You deal the 5 because...
you definitely
you're just not going to leave it up. You've got the battlefield. Maybe you dug in and maybe you play C-3PO and that's your turn.
Look, you probably wait to see what Carl rolls in case defensive position's good. But you certainly don't want to leave a gun in the pool.
You're in a good spot. You're in a good spot here. I mean, he hit the guns with the ability to resolve them.
Like the other possibility is because its trap doesn't kill you here. Perhaps you just roll in Poe and you see what happens.
Yep.
And then you save the hit and run for later when it's a trap might just kill you.
Yeah, maybe. But again, it's that discussion we had earlier where it's like recognizing the line and actually executing it. Two different things.
And that's right. And also, you've got to get cards out of your hand to draw new cards.
Yeah.
So, there's no clear answer.
Yeah, definitely not. So now he has the option of... He's considering just firing off the defensive position here to remove one of Bae's dice.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that so much here. I don't think you're under that much pressure. He's going to do it. Okay. He's going to do it. Playing very defensively.
Is this the first defensive position we've seen
from
Justin?
Justin's deck, yes.
Yeah.
Playing very defensively. Baze rolls into a special, not great against one character. Justin's going to claim.
And what do you pull back if you're Justin here?
Something to throw, right? The Heavy Blaster? Yeah, I like the Heavy Blaster.
I like Heavy Blaster.
Particularly
especially if you can play it.
Oh, particularly if you can get the resource and play it. Your opponent with only 2 dice, Heavy Blaster becomes remove 50% of your opponent's potential damage.
Yeah.
and increase your damage ceiling by literally... It adds a third more damage that you can deal.
Absolutely. Justin's play is probably correct, which is preserve Poe's health as much as possible.
Yep. And just eke out value, which is what he's doing.
And you have to decide not to extend, right? Not to try and risk it all.
Am I right in that Carl didn't discard the dug-in that he has in hand? Or the defensive position?
He did...
The dug-in. It's a dug-in.
He did in a previous turn, but he's drawn a new one.
He's drawn a new one.
He also played Planetary Uprising at the end of last turn.
Oh, no. So his opponent...
this could be it's a trap.
Oh, it's a trap, but it's not enough to kill him.
It's not. So, and he rolled so well, he might not even use it.
Well, the thing...
He preserves it for...
Preserves. The thing is, he could have...
But here's the thing, if Poe deals his 4 now, Planetary Uprising hits him for 2.
Yeah. So Poe is on 5. Planetary Uprising
puts him to 3.
Puts him to 3. No, he's on 5 damage. Sorry, he's only got 5 damage on him, which means he has 7 health. So Planetary Uprising not so bad right now. The problem is Baze. So Baze is on...
Look, you have to deal the damage, I think, because there's no way for you to kill Baze otherwise.
It's a weird spot for Justin to be in. If you deal 2... You're going to take another 2. I think you just do the damage and just go to the next turn, right?
And look, we have the benefit of seeing the player's hands.
Yeah.
You can see that Carl's holding another Planetary Uprising and that it's not in Justin's interest to give him an extra action.
If me in Justin's position here, it's obviously biased now that I know, what Carl's sitting on and stuff. Yep. As I've been saying, I think for the whole game, I really want C-3PO in play. I want... There we go. The sooner I had C3...
What do you want to do with Poe's die, though, that you don't resolve those guns now?
Right now?
Yeah. What do you want one of those 2s to be?
Well, he's given his opponent time to... Or he's considering playing... Oh, because the second...
Because you never want to let go of the damage, right?
Yeah, Carl is 100... Yeah. So now Carl's played the second Planetary Uprising. Now Justin is punished so heavily for not resolving those guns.
Yeah.
Because now he's committed.
And now he's making the most of it. So Justin clearly has a plan that he wants to pursue.
But that's probably the worst card that Carl could have had in that situation if you're sitting in Justin's chair right now. Because
this is a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. And you committed. The thing is you can't... I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you just have to...
Now you need to gain shields.
So
Yeah, so it's just been pointed out to us, and it's a bit of a failure of ours that if Justin does 6, he wins. But
Can he do 6?
But he needs money. No, he doesn't.
Does he have lethal?
Yeah. That's right.
4 from the rocket launcher and 6. Yeah,
Oh, look at that.
Apologies. We just outright missed the fact that he could have killed him with what he had in hand.
I had a genuine moment of joy when Justin laid that out.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that'll teach us for not counting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Carl played towards the on.
Justin's like, I'll just win this turn.
And Justin just had it.
I'll just win this turn.
Wow. And no, that's on to game number 3.
That's
wow,
right. We go to game 3 and the exciting conclusion. And I'm always happy when a final goes to 3 games. Like it's not
definitely. Well, all these matches have been incredible.
Yeah, they've been great to watch.
We've had some great matches. Like the semi-finals match was just great to watch. I'm very much looking forward to watching that back. Even myself.
Yeah.
And I sat here and commentated the damn thing, but I'm really looking forward to seeing that match back.
It's difficult not to get distracted by possibilities and actually see what the players are doing.
100%. Yeah.
But it is a joy to watch high caliber players.
Oh, yeah.
Like under a pressure situation and what they'll do. Because there's so many creative options and there are so many different decision points.
Yeah, definitely.
That it is genuinely interesting to see how people respond.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. As you mentioned before, every player, our play group, I mean, we have a fairly large play group. We play regularly.
Yep.
I think we're yet to agree on almost anything.
That's right. Like, if you've got 3 or more players, no one's agreeing.
It's like we don't agree on what the best deck is. We don't agree on how to play even each deck.
That's right.
We all have the same deck built and play it 3 different, 4, 5, 10 different ways. Like, you know what I mean? Like none of us agree on anything. And I think that's the best part about Destiny, right?
Yeah. Sometimes in Magic, like the optimal play is transparent.
Yes. In any card game, a lot of card games like that, it's very obvious. It's like I have this and you have this and I do this and I win.
And one of the best parts about Destiny is the optimal play might not exist.
No, because there's too much that can change from action to action. It's impossible to calculate.
Okay, we're looking at the mulligan decisions for the final round. What are you looking for if you're either player?
Okay, so if you're Justin, you just want an explosive turn 1. Whatever that might be. You want hit and runs. You want big vehicles.
And if you're Carl, I think you want guns. I think you want to go.
You want to get some guns out. You want to get some guns out quickly.
I'm always happy in a red deck to see Wingman and Overkill.
I think you want Duggins. I think you want Duggins early. You want. If your turn 1 is to literally dug in. I think you feel fine.
Yeah, that helps.
Or even better would be turn 1 dug in, turn 2 dug in the same character. You know what I mean? It's effectively, you've just saved yourself 6 damage on the character. Which is massive. But yeah, I agree with you. You want guns. You want to get the most value out of your hit and runs. You really want your hit and run to punish.
I want my hit and runs later in the game as either player.
Oh, definitely. But on Maz, I don't know about that on Poe. I think you want to get it out early, real early.
Maybe turn 2, but I don't think Maz is dying turn 1.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose you want it. Yeah,
I want it to make a difference.
The latest possible moment.
Yeah.
You want
the latest useful moment.
You want to be on that twilight moment.
That's right. Just before they die, just eke out the extra turn and you feel like a king.
Yeah. So Carl choosing the.
I like that Justin's looking at Maz's goggles to make her super elite Maz.
Oh, Maz. That's a card that's made that is both flavorful and amazing and just works in every way. That is a card you always want on Maz.
Absolutely. And Carl's got the Baby Blaster, which I'm always happy to start with because it lets you expand, but also preserves a resource.
So there's one of those. Third game in a row, it's the resource gun. So now Maz can roll in, resolve the resource, resolve the gun.
Absolutely, and Justin knowing that Maz has been killed first the last couple of times, Holdout Blaster will redeploy.
Oh, great, amazing. Now he's got.
I would resolve Maz's resource and then pose 3.
I agree. I completely agree with that because then you've got the focus left to threaten. Focusing into a special or just gaining the resource and then doing 2 with the Holdout Blaster. Now, granted...
Or you could take both resources and play Planetary Uprising. Oh, no, he's got Crush.
Yeah, he's got Crush on both. No, he's just going to tell us... He's going to tell us we're both wrong and throw a black one.
Yeah.
Bonk. There's 3 damage.
That's an interesting play. Because... it's difficult to now have a resource for long enough to activate either of those guns.
Yeah, so now, Carl immediately crushing that resource, representing taking away both Justin's ability to claim and to do damage.
That's right. It's a real salt wound moment.
You can't claim or hurt me.
That's right.
So Justin, I guess he was just prepared to re-roll no matter what happened?
Yeah, perhaps seeing it as a way of controlling Snap's die.
Yeah.
We've just been advised that
hearing from the table that he apparently just maybe just missed the onboard crush.
And that happens. You can get so caught up in your own
line,
and what you're going to do.
This is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. Now, interesting there. I personally would have claimed the resource there because you're then giving Carl a real decision. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so I'm a chess player. I think I've mentioned it a couple of times, but I like to apply concepts of like high level concepts of chess to other games, and one of the sort of base
Carl showing 5 damage, by the way.
It's a lot of damage. One of the things I think that I've taught people when I'm trying to teach them chess to a certain level is if you're in a bad spot on board, make it as complicated as possible. The more complicated the board state, the more likely your opponent is to make a mistake.
That's a good point.
The harder it is for them to see the correct move or the correct line. In that situation, if you claim the resource, you've put the onus back onto Carl. Carl now has to decide, is it worth me crushing that resource?
Yeah.
And then allowing you to claim? Is it worth letting you claim? It complicates the board state. And I think that in a situation where you feel you might be a little bit behind, or just in general,
if you feel disadvantaged, then
complicate it.
Yeah, you are only advantaged by muddying the waters.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was a problem I had with my chess play. I would open well, and I would start quite well, and then I'd develop an advantage into the mid game, and then I'd get lost. I'm like, what do I do now?
Because there's so many decisions, and obviously that's chess is a far cry from this game. I mean, chess is obviously very different. There's no variance, and it's all on board. But that said,
but what do you know? We like games. Hey?
This game is very chess-like. It is very much your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. Granted,
at its best, it's very play, counterplay, tension.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And you're trying to gain tempo.
Yep.
And they're all chess concepts.
And, 100%.
And I think, I mean, I like variance. Variance enriches a game.
Oh, it makes it, to the right level, I think a certain amount of variance makes the game much more enjoyable.
Wingman showing its power.
Yeah, Wingman. So that's not a huge amount of damage, but the right symbols. My God.
Yeah, that's...
Did Justin gain his resources for this turn?
Yeah, they're underneath his hands.
Oh, there they are. Yep, cool. So just to clarify, based on that reaction, the players can't hear us. That would have been our producer asking whether or not he had his resources. Just to clarify, we're in a very other end of the building.
We're in a bunker where we're protected from anything we may be saying.
Yeah, exactly. Except YouTube. We do cop it from YouTube regularly.
Nothing protects you from YouTube comments.
No, the internet is a harsh mistress. All right, so interestingly choosing to discard Planetary.
Well, again, they're playing in Starship Graveyard. It's a temporary measure. Both parties have done it.
Don't you want to play it? I want to put it in play.
I want more dice. Until I know who's claiming, I want more dice.
He has an It's a Trap in hand. He's already showing a considerable amount of damage.
What do you do now as Justin?
Oh, you're in a weird spot. So you got to roll in Matt. Oh, does he show
Maz can just die here.
Oh,
Poe can just die.
Shows a gun. Is he just going to It's a Trap? Yep.
Yeah, it's just over, I think.
So, well, it's over for Matt.
3.
No, he kills. No, the damage is on Poe here.
Yeah, that's right. He'll kill Poe.
Now, this is...
And then do damage to Maz.
This is still scary, though, because Maz...
Because
he's a powerhouse.
You only need 7, and he'll do 7 to Poe and 2 to Maz. And then Maz has 5 health left for the game.
It's not much, but Maz's ability...
And look at the dice he mitigated by doing that. Like, he gets the post special and the 2-gun all disappear.
And look at the hand. He's sitting on a rocket launcher thermal detonator.
That would have been 8 damage lazily.
Easily. So maybe incorrect of Justin to roll in.
Oh, look, you
have to open himself up to...
At a certain point, you have to risk it, right? Like, what are you going to do? Just... pass indefinitely.
And the heart, there it is. The rubbing in the salt, digging in the heels. That's that's a pretty disappointing roll. He can focus into anything.
He can focus Maz into a focus, but then it's useless.
But the problem is the focus is on the necessarily.
Cunning is less useful now that Poe's dead.
I suppose it.
So maybe that's where you want it.
Yeah, but what do? Like, do you focus into damage? Do you focus into shield? Like,
I focus into resources, I think, because you've got to play the rocket launcher, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you really do. You want to make Maz big. You also, I mean, a second line is to try and get your planetary uprising in play.
Things are very difficult for Justin now. Like, what's his path to victory here? Like, Carl's team's taken 2 damage. He needs a big
weapon. He needs a big weapon on Maz, and she needs to hit it. Like, you need a DL-44 and a rocket. You need rocket launcher in play. You want to be rolling in Maz doing 4.
And I guess the upside of Maz is that, like, you're never leaving a gun in the pool.
No.
Right, so
Carl choosing to discard the overkill there, feeling...
Which is a big call, because I'm a huge fan of overkill.
I think it's great. He doesn't need it here. He's only got to do, as you said, he's only got to do 5 damage. The die itself is pretty bad when you're relying on hitting a base. It's not a card I think you want to spend 2 resources on at this stage in the game. I think you want more direct, like cards that are going to more directly influence.
Certainly with Baze and the Baby Blasters, all having resource costs on some of their bases.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to be in a situation where you're staring at bases that require resources and you got no resources.
Also, I mean, not to mention, he's also playing safe. He wants to be careful. He's got a dug in. He's got a field medic.
He feels like the game's his, and he doesn't want to
shore it up. I mean, you there's no reason.
So Justin can deal 3 here.
Yep.
Which does get rid of Snap's dice.
It does. Important thing to note is Maz says resolve up to 2 dice.
Yeah.
That does allow you to resolve a die with a modifier.
Yeah.
You may resolve them simultaneously, hence
It doesn't say resolve a dice and then resolve a dice. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are able to resolve 2 dice with a die with a modifier, which is quite good.
Justin employing the most traditional form of dice control, which is killing the character.
Yep. Very
effective 100% of the time.
Very organic.
That's right.
Still hard match up here, in a rough spot here. He's sitting. So Carl's sitting on a field medic, a dug in, I believe. A field medic and dug in. Or is that a defensive position? No, it's a sensor placement. I apologise. Going to pitch the sensor placement to reroll.
I would too. You're almost never going to get the option.
It does nothing. It does nothing at this point in the game.
Because Maz will resolve any dangerous sides.
Yep.
Before you get the chance to.
Rerolls into a resource and a blank. Maz shows a resource and a focus.
Look, is there anything on the cunning that you want, or do you just take the resource?
I think you just take the resource. Right?
I think you just take.
And then go into the next turn with 3 resources. 4. So you're going.
You're looking at going to 1 now. Like if you don't have any control.
Oh yeah. So Carl recognizing the point in the game where he can go ham.
Yeah,
he's just going to keep re-rolling until he represents damage. He doesn't need to be worried here. I don't feel with the dug in with the field medic, double field medic,
and it's a trap. Like he's feeling pretty confident that he can wait for a spot
and the shield. So Baze is
not even taking the resource, just overriding with rocket launcher.
Baze, I think doesn't have time. But I mean, maybe you shouldn't have re-rolled in the first place if that was going to be your plan. I'm not sure. It's hard. But it's such a hard
things
position.
Have changed. Like Carl's dice have changed since.
It's such a hard position to play from.
Yeah. And Maz going down to 1 health left.
Yeah, it's a bit hopeless. I mean,
luckily the holdout blaster can redeploy to the opponent's side of the board once Maz has died.
If we're playing Grievous. And there it is.
That's right.
Rerolls.
And that's the handshake. And that's the league. Look, thanks for joining us. Terrific games.
Great. Yeah, look, Carl cleans it up with a powerful deck demonstrating that obviously his faith in his deck, well placed.
That's right. Focus and determination have seen the day.
Yep.
Red deck wins.
Maybe a little bit of skill involved.
Yeah.
But
maybe a scooch.
Yet to be seen. No. Carl's list there. Definitely.
So this is our winning list.
Definitely putting on a show.
Elite Snap, Elite Baze. For all the haters who said Baze was completely useless, we take a look.
How about them apples? It's good. It's great to watch.
Carl rarely using his own battlefield throughout the game.
even much less than I was expecting him to. I think Yep.
So valuing the shields.
Yep.
And difficult to argue with the results.
yeah. What we'll do, we'll get. Well, I think the plan is we're going to get Matt. Matt's going to jump out here, and we'll actually grab Carl for a quick chat about his deck and the league. And
that's right. He's the one best placed to explain.
Yeah, for sure.
Why he played that way.
Yep.
And thanks for having us.
2 seconds.
It's great to talk.
Yeah, no worries. We'll grab Carl in here. I think he's just making his way in now. Shout out to Matt for the amazing commentary there. That was a lot of fun. Just getting Carl comfortable. Let's get him to put on the headset so he can be heard.
Hi, everyone.
Sup? All right. Our winner.
Yep.
Well done. Your faith in the deck well placed.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I'll be honest. I was a little skeptical. I thought that maybe it was a little too dependent on that opening roll. But you're demonstrating that it's not, and there's definitely a lot more play to the deck, I think, than on the surface it shows.
Yeah, so basically, you use snaps to sort of control the game.
Yep.
You try to disrupt them early. If you can't, you just go for damage.
Okay.
But all the 0 to plays and stuff like that really help you smooth out your draws.
Yeah, I think you mentioned. I mentioned it on earlier in some of your matches, but the discussion we had before the top 8 started, that you really like the ability to always be able to play your cards regardless of your money, regardless of the situation, and really pick the sequencing.
Yeah. So I really prioritize the curve basically. So just making sure I can cast or play all my cards each turn.
Yep.
It allows me to go through my deck quicker, which gets hit and run, and it's a trap.
Yep.
Which really pushes the strengths of the deck.
Something Matt pointed out that was interesting is I think you actually play with your opponent's battlefield far more than your own.
Yeah, it really depends on how I see the game going. Especially against someone like Pomaz, they're going to be claiming a lot more than me.
Okay.
And me losing potentially 3 damage on bays is very significant.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So you're more worried about them claiming off of you, even. So you're not really you're not completely relying on Snap's ability to lock them out of the turn.
If I think we're evenly paced, I'll probably pick mine.
Okay.
But anything that I think's slightly quicker than me, potentially faster.
Okay,
like I can win the battlefield, but I don't want to be forced into going for it each turn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because you can roll bad.
You don't want to have your hand forced. Yeah, that makes sense.
You just get.
Yeah. Well, so you've cleaned up. So 14 packs of your choice is the first prize for the league. I imagine you're probably going to Empire at War coming soon is a choice that you may take.
I will definitely be taking Empire at War.
The winning list on screen. Look, honestly, you've been playing it for a while. Would you change anything after what you played today? Anything come up that you thought maybe tweak something, change something here, or you're just completely happy with the way it is?
It's interesting you say that, because the more I play the deck, I feel like certain cards go in waves of being good and bad. Like I probably had 2 tournaments where I didn't play a single It's a Trap.
Fair enough. And then this one has been an all-star.
Yeah, I just versed Kylos and Vaders all day. Yep. And then today it just swept the floor with everyone.
Yeah, it did well. It did really well. I'm not going to lie. It's got a lot of play to it. And obviously played very well. I mean, I was commented before that I picked the deck up and felt that it wasn't as strong as you've definitely demonstrated it to be. So hats off. You obviously play it very well and understand it very well, and also understand the matchups very well.
Yeah.
I mean, thanks for showing it off, I guess, because it's been very enjoyable to commentate, and I imagine it'll be very enjoyable for our viewers to watch the matches, because there's definitely been some great play.
Yeah, I'll definitely go back and watch it. I love watching myself play at the end and finding all the mistakes and ways I could have improved. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's a good way to learn. It's definitely a good opportunity. I mean, your matches are on tape. It's a good opportunity to watch it back and maybe pick your place. So we got Store Champs coming up on this coming weekend. You playing?
Yep, I'll definitely be playing.
Awesome.
Always love a big tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be. It should be a good one. Should be a real good one. We're going to be live streaming it. So, unfortunately, we weren't able to live stream this event. This has happened. When you're watching this in the future, this would have happened in the past. But for the Store Champs, we will be live streaming, live commentary, the whole shebang. Carl's going to be here. I'll be here. I'll be commentating. I'm not playing, unfortunately. You going to be playing this?
I think so. I'm definitely. This is the deck I'm happiest with at the moment. It's the most consistent.
Yeah, and you obviously feel quite comfortable with it.
Yeah, I feel comfortable with it, and I think it's got some good matchups against the top decks of the field right now.
Awesome. Yep. Just last question, less relevant to this deck. How do you feel about the current state of Destiny now with the recent erratas and the changes and stuff?
It's funny you ask that because I never really have a problem. I kind of just deal with it either way.
Just suck it up.
Kind of just make my own thing. Try deal with the issue.
Yep.
But I wasn't super upset with Fast Hands, honestly.
Fair enough. Oh, you did all right, even when it was at its peak of being hated.
Yeah, but I definitely understand the odds of someone just rolling in and getting a disrupt for 2, like on their second roll, is very upsetting.
Yeah, it's really
or their first roll if they claim the battlefield.
Yep. But that's good to know. I mean, you stuck through it and obviously just didn't care and did well anyway. Now, I mean, obviously, I think you can agree maybe that it's better. The game's in a little bit of a better spot.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it. It feels a lot less degenerate, especially with Ammo Belt being banned.
Yeah, the Ammo Belt change was big.
Change at the same time.
I mean, the Ammo Belt change was really big. I think there was a game that you played against that you probably, if the Ammo Belt was still the way it used to be, I feel that you probably couldn't have actually won.
It really depends on the draw. I felt like Ammo Belt it's very hit and miss. Like either you draw it early and it's terrible, or you draw it late and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And you kind of just need to play it by ear.
Yep.
And just doesn't make for good Destiny, really.
Well, fair enough. Well, it was a lot of fun to commentate. I hope it's equally as fun to watch, and I hope you enjoyed playing. Yeah. Thank you for playing in our League number 2. We'll have a League 3 starting some point in the near future. There'll be announcements up. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and all that kind of stuff. Most likely going to start up when Empire of War, along with the Empire of War release. So if anyone's local to the area, feel free to come in, have some games, even just casually. Play against our champion here.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Anyways, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for talking about the deck and playing for us today. We'll be back. The next time you see us will be for Store Champs. Thanks, guys.